Good morning, YouTube. I know a lot of people do reviews on like Rockler and Craig and other woodworking jigs, but I want to start doing reviews on like YouTubers jigs so we can start giving them the recognition for sharing the jigs that we make in our own shops. Today what I want to do is I want to do a review on this. It's the J Bates Universal Router Edge Guide and Mortising jig. You can check it out on J Bates' channel. First off, I want to say it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's basically like a Festool domino. It takes a little bit more time for setup, but you save $1,000, so you got to kind of weigh your options. So if you're unfamiliar with what a loose tenon joint is, if you're trying to glue up two boards like this, you end up gluing end grain, and that sucks up a lot of the glue, and you end up with a really weak joint. So with loose mortises, you make a mortise in this board here, you make a mortise in this board, and then you put tenoning stock that you can make yourself. And then when you put the two boards together, you end up with, and then put some glue in there, you end up with a very strong joint. So now that you guys know what this thing does, let's make a few mortises. So the first thing you're going to want to do, see, I have this loose tenon stock that I've already made, and you can go on anybody's video and figure out how to make this. And then I just use this to mark where I want my loose tenon to be. And you just take the piece, you can measure it and use a square and stuff like that. I just put the loose tenon itself down and then mark it here and here. And then you'll take your square and transfer them lines to the other side. And you'll do that on both boards. And now you have your boards marked. Now the next thing you can do is you can measure and find the exact center of both pieces, but as long as you're referencing the jig off of the same side, if you reference the back fence on this side of this piece and this side of this piece, the mortise is going to be the same distance on both pieces, and then it's going to line up perfectly. So you don't even have to take the extra time and find the center. You just kind of roughly get the center and go from there. As far as setup on this jig, it's pretty simple. You have wing nuts on this side, you have two on this side, two on this side. As far as you figure out where your router bit is roughly in the center, and then you tighten up your back wing nuts, the ones back here, and then you pull it tight, and then the front, you loosen up the wing nuts, and then the front fence here is adjustable. Well, they're both adjustable. So then you squeeze it, tighten up the wing nuts on this side, and you want to keep it where it's tight, but it slides back and forth. So now we can show the tool in action. I got the piece set up in the vise. I got my lines marked. I got my fence set. You just set the jig over. You go to one side of the line. Turn on your router, and then you make your cuts. And that's basically it for one part, and then you go and do the other part. Now we got the other piece in, and we're gonna do the other mortise. After using the jig, you have two nice mortises. I put the loose tenon stock in there to size, and then you slide them together like so, and once you put them together, you have a nice flush joint here, or flush. It's nice and flush there. It's nice and flush there. You add a little bit of wood glue, and you have a nice tight joint. You want to save a little bit of room. You don't want it super tight, but as you can see, I mean, even without wood glue, it stays in there. That's about what you want. You don't want to make it too tight, because if you make it too tight, then once the glue is put in there, it makes it super hard to bang it together. All in all, I gotta say, this is a very inexpensive jig that you can do with shop scraps. It only takes a few minutes to build, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. So I want to send a big shout out to Jay Bates for sharing this jig with us. Well guys, I hope this video helps you decide whether you're going to make Jay Bates mortising jig. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me about the other jigs that you guys learned on YouTube. Alright, have a good day. Bye.